I think I early had a respect for the way scientists work, the way I interprets it, the importance of not being too focused on a certain goal. You have to keep your mind very open. I'm Jens Fenge. I'm a Swedish artist, painter preferably, and I was born in Göteborg, a town on the Swedish west coast, close to the sea. Of course, your upbringing is of great importance, and I think maybe the combination of my dad being a scientist of sort, a zoologist, and my mother was really into maybe not contemporary art, but textiles and stuff like that. I think that combination in hindsight has had an impact on me. My dad had on his desk a microscope that he sometimes let me look into, and he took some samples from a nearby pond to show me microscopical algae and small strange animals, and that really fascinated me. In a way, the distance between my eye and the microscopic object, I couldn't see it in the sample, but through the lens it was there. And it was also something I think fascinated me was the lack of colors. It was nature, but it was as if it was black and white, another world, and also the fact that it very much resembled what I saw when I closed my eyes and at night trying to sleep, and the patterns and strange shape that were playing up under my closed eyelids. So that connection between those two got me going. I think I early had a respect for the way scientists work, the way I interprets it, the importance of not being too focused on a certain goal. You have to keep your mind very open. Of course, you can have a specific goal, but doing the research, you have to kind of skip the focus and maybe be attentive to what's going on in the margins of your research, and that's something I have experienced that I do a lot when painting and working in my studio, that it's almost, sometimes I can trick myself in concentrating on one thing, but then trying to be carefully seeing what's going on around my corner in a way. So there are some similarities. My mother took me a lot to museums. It was different museums, like ethnographic and arts and crafts, but also art museum in Göteborg, or if we traveled. So sometimes it made an impact. Even at times got me bored. I wanted to go to amusement parks if we were traveling abroad, but we went to churches and historical places or so. But I remember I was 13 when we spent the summer in France and we went to Bayeux to see the tapestry. That actually made an impact. On beforehand, I resisted and made up my mind that this is going to be a total bore, but in a way it blew my mind to see it. Before I started in art schools and preparation courses, I tried for a semester literature science or literature history at the university, but because I was really into reading, but I got tired not of reading, but it didn't suit me to approach books and literature in that way at all, and I also felt such a burden you have to finish this Dostoevsky novel till next Wednesday, and so I remember during classes I was more into drawing instead of taking notes from the lectures, and so one thing led to another, and I started in art school instead. The moment I was accepted to the art academy, I knew that this is it. This is what I'm gonna do as a living for the rest of my life. But I had no idea how it would look, or so I think it took some time before me finding a voice of my own.